Long ago, in an age when gods still walked among mortals, a child was born whose name would echo for eternity. He was Achilles, son of Peleus, king of the Myrmidons, and Thetis, a sea goddess of shimmering beauty and terrible power. From the moment he took his first breath, destiny circled him like a hawk. A prophecy was whispered over his cradle. This child will live one of two lives, long but forgotten, or short but crowned with eternal glory. Desperate to save him, Thetis carried her infant son to the banks of the River Styx, whose dark waters could make one invincible. She dipped Achilles into its depths, gripping him firmly by his heel. The water's power clung to his skin like armor, everywhere but that small spot her fingers had touched. His heel remained untouched by immortality. As Achilles grew, his strength and speed outshone all other boys. Yet Thetis feared the prophecy that clung to him like a shadow. When war broke out between the Greeks and the Trojans, a war that would decide the fate of nations, she hid him in the court of King Lycomedes, disguised as a maiden among maidens. But fate does not sleep. The clever Greek king Odysseus, knowing Achilles could not be hidden forever, devised a trick. Among gifts of jewelry and silks, he laid out a sword. The young warrior's hand reached instinctively for the blade, betraying who he truly was. The mask of safety fell away. Achilles was claimed by destiny. The drums of war thundered. Helen, queen of Sparta, had been taken by Paris of Troy, and 1,000 ships set sail to win her back. Achilles joined the host of kings and generals, his name already spoken with awe. His Myrmidons, fierce as wolves, followed wherever he led. Yet even among allies, pride breeds conflict. At the head of the Greek army stood Agamemnon, a king arrogant and unyielding. When Agamemnon insulted the priest of Apollo by refusing to return a captured maiden, the god sent plague upon the Greek camp. Forced to surrender her, Agamemnon's pride boiled over. To soothe his wounded honor, he seized another prize, Briseis, the woman awarded to Achilles, the one the warrior cherished most. Achilles' pride flared like fire. Enraged, dishonored, he withdrew from battle. He swore he would not lift his sword again for the Greeks, even as their soldiers fell in droves. Without him, the Trojan prince Hector drove the Greeks to the brink of ruin. But there was one man Achilles loved more than glory: Patroclus, his companion since childhood, as dear to him as his own soul. Seeing the Greeks falter, Patroclus begged for a chance to fight in Achilles' place. At last, Achilles relented, lending him his armor, bright as the sun, so that the Trojans would tremble, believing Achilles himself had returned. But Patroclus's courage outstripped his strength. Consumed by battle, he forgot Achilles' warning not to press too far. Hector struck him down with his spear, and the golden armor fell to Trojan hands. When the news reached Achilles, it was as though the world itself had shattered. He wept, he raged, he poured ash upon his head. Grief twisted into vengeance. He no longer cared for pride or for spoils of war, only for Hector's blood. Agamemnon returned Briseis, yet she could not soothe Achilles' grief. His mother Thetis rose from the sea and brought him new armor, forged by Hephaestus, god of fire. The shield alone was a masterpiece, etched with the heavens and the earth, with stars and cities, with peace and war, the whole of existence in a single circle of bronze. Armed once more, Achilles swept into battle like a storm. Trojans fell before him as waves before a cliff. None could stand against him, not even Hector. 3 times Hector fled around the walls of Troy, but the gods abandoned him, and Achilles caught him at last. Their duel shook the plain, but fate had already chosen the victor. Achilles' spear pierced Hector's heart. Blinded by fury, Achilles tied the prince's body to his chariot and dragged it through the dust around the city walls. All Troy wailed, and even the gods turned away in sorrow. Yet in the dark of night, Hector's father, King Priam, came alone into the Greek camp, begging for his son's body. He kissed the hands that had killed his child. Achilles, moved by the old king's grief, returned the body. For a moment, the fire of his rage cooled, and he remembered he too was mortal. But the prophecy still lingered. No armor, no strength could shield Achilles from fate. One day, as the war dragged on, Paris, guided by Apollo, loosed an arrow. It flew straight and true, striking Achilles in the only place left unguarded, his heel.
The invincible warrior fell. His roar shook the heavens, but the life drained from him. The greatest hero of Greece, the man who had conquered the impossible, was undone by the smallest wound. His funeral was a sight to break the heart. The Greeks built a great pyre and laid him with Patroclus, their ashes mingling, united even in death. Songs were sung of his glory, of his wrath, of his doomed choice to live briefly, but forever remembered. Achilles' name became eternal. His story, one of love and rage, of pride and fate, was told for centuries and still is told today. He was a man who could not escape his destiny, a hero who chose glory over peace, and a reminder that even the greatest among us carry a fatal weakness. Achilles chose eternal glory over a long, quiet life, and though he fell, his legend still thunders through history. Do you think his fate was a blessing or a curse? Let me know in the comments, and if you love stories of gods and heroes, subscribe for more myths brought to life.